Welcome back to Casual Bias Rugby. The pool stages have been concluded. This is a video just a takeaway from all of the games that we had in the pool stages. The quarterfinal fixtures has been set, and we are ready to go for the business stage of the World Cup. And I mean, I'm very excited. We're just gonna run through every single pool. I had a couple of howler predictions, so yeah, I'll have to follow my sword. Let's get into it. Starting off with Pool A, France tops it. That was the prediction as well. Beating New Zealand in that first game. It was a massive victory. The poster boy of the World Cup as well, DuPont. A lot of hype around the Southern Hemisphere, the Northern Hemisphere teams, as much as I hate it. But yeah, France, dominant performances over everyone except for Uruguay and New Zealand. Dominant performance over Italy and Namibia, of course, almost put 100 points up against Namibia. Beat New Zealand. It was a tight affair, but France deserved victory at the end of it. And then, of course, the game that everyone was talking about, France versus Uruguay. But you can't look into a game like that too much. I mean, France literally played their third string team. Still got the better of Uruguay. Of course, Uruguay had some feisty performances, fought till the end. So, well done for them, getting close to France in that game. Moving on, New Zealand lost that first game against France. And of course, Italy, Uruguay, Namibia isn't the best of teams, but to bounce back, the way that they bounce back, I mean, just look at the points difference. Plus 206. That is absolutely crazy. After even losing a game. So you literally put it up in 3 games. Ridiculous. A lot of positives to take from it, from a New Zealand perspective. And I made an extensive video. I posted it on TikTok. I posted it on YouTube. Where I spoke about the flip-flopping in opinions that I don't like. Which was literally New Zealand losing 1 game against France. In France. Against France. The hosting nation. I mean, it's not the end of the world losing a game like that, and it was a tight affair. Let's not beat around the bush. So people started doubting them to lose against Italy, and to go out against Italy and smash them, putting 96 points. Was it 96? I think it was 96 points past Italy. Resounding victory, dominant performance. Just showing people, listen, don't forget about us. Like there's a couple of mixed opinions around New Zealand. Of course, they're playing against Ireland now in the quarterfinals this coming weekend. But I think there's a lot of positives for New Zealand to take from their performances. Yeah, it's not the best of teams, but as soon as people start doubting you, any performance or any win, significant victory like that, will do you the world of good. Moving on, you got Italy. Just didn't really show up, to be honest. Beat Uruguay, beat Namibia with bonus points as well. But, just felt like they didn't really show up. Now, I never thought Italy could pull the upset victory over New Zealand, but I think they will be pretty down on the fact that they didn't put up a better performance, didn't stay in the game, because they got smashed literally from the get-go. Didn't do themselves any real favors. I think most of us expected Italy to do a lot better in the World Cup. Still come third, so they're on par, but just put up a better fight against the likes of France and New Zealand, not get spanked like that. I mean, especially coming off the previous season that they had, beating Australia. And of course, South Africa beat Italy comprehensively in the Autumn Nations, but let's not beat around the bush. I think there was like a 3 points difference at halftime between Italy and South Africa, so they had a very good performance against South Africa as well. So I think Italy will be very disappointed with their performances, but you go again. Moving on, Uruguay, Namibia. To be honest, I didn't watch too much of their games. I haven't watched too many second tier nations games. I just feel with the draw and everything, it's a bit ridiculous I don't enjoy watching a team get spanked in a World Cup as far as the likes of Namibia, Uruguay, Romania. usually do. I do enjoy a tier 2 versus a tier 2 nation game. The Uruguay Namibia game, brilliant game. Even Uruguay versus Italy game, that was just as good. Of course, Uruguay had the lead, and I think they will be very disappointed that they didn't get a victory against Italy in that game. But anyway, we move. We go to Pool B, and everyone was speaking about this pool being the pool of death. And to be honest, it didn't really end up being one of the pool of deaths. Ireland, of course, topping the group with South Africa coming second. As much hate as I give the Northern Hemisphere, it's all just banter. I do respect them. Ireland has been crazy. I mean, to be on a 17-game winning streak, you can't do anything else other than just purely respect the domination it takes, or the strength and the mightiness to get to 17-game winning streak. I don't think the Boks have ever come close to a 16, 17-game winning streak. So Ireland, of course, beating Tonga easily, Romania on that first game easily. I said Tonga will be a tough game, not that they will lose the game or anything like that, but a physical game, and then to go up against South Africa after that will be a tall ask. They smashed Tonga, played against us, matched us physically, won the game, fair and square. And then, of course, when everyone's speaking about Scotland could actually pull the upset victory, they only need 8 points. They only need to win by 8 points. Ireland went out and schooled Scotland as well. So Ireland, very impressive. There's no other words to describe what Ireland are doing other than just super impressive. Of course, that is a big game. New Zealand versus Ireland quarterfinals. I think Ireland and New Zealand played in the quarterfinals of the previous World Cup. And I think Ireland was number 1 for a while as well, and then got smashed in that World Cup. It's definitely not going to end the same as that one. Of course, this is not predictions yet, but I mean, this is two teams on good form going into that game. I think New Zealand is finally truly finding their feet again after the setback against France and South Africa. That's going to be a very interesting game. Of course, I wanted to see Ireland and France. I love that game. But I didn't want to play New Zealand either. So, I mean, moving on to our boys, we had a lot of pressure on us from the get-go, playing against Scotland up first. Of course, you don't doubt your team, but you know it's a slippery slope. You know, one hiccup there. We know we lose in the pool stages. We lost against Japan previously. We lost against New Zealand previously. But a loss against Scotland would have been very, very bad. And then you had to play Ireland to secure your spot. So I'm just happy we got a performance out of it. A good victory. Of course, we didn't get the bonus point, but I think our boys showed a lot of heart and desire in that first game. Saying, listen, this is the big one. Just get the win here, and we are sharp for the rest of the pool stages. Of course, moving on. Played in Romania with the second string team. Kobus Reinach once again deciding, listen, let's score a hat-trick in about 20 seconds. I think he's got about, 6 tries in like 4 World Cup games, which is ridiculous. Of course, losing to Ireland, but I was very impressed with our boys, with the fight that we showed. Stayed in the game till the end. And then, ending up second. Moving on, you got Scotland. I think Scotland will be so disappointed. They put up a very good fight against South Africa, couldn't match the physicality in the second half. They stayed in the game in the first half. And I would be lying if I said I didn't stress after that first half. But then our boys came out and showed some class in the second half. Scotland just couldn't find their feet. Finn Russell just didn't have enough time on the ball to produce some magic. But then, of course, smashed Romania. Had a tough game against Tonga, especially in that first half, and then just ended up being resounding victors in the second half. And then the big game came for them against Ireland, and just felt like Scotland didn't pitch. And it's not a knock on Scotland, it's just the fact that Ireland was that good. I think Ireland were truly brilliant yesterday. So there's nothing really Scotland could have done about it. I think they can go home with their heads held high. What more can you say? Listen, by the way, this video is literally, I'm shooting this directly after Tonga just beat Romania. So I haven't even watched the Fiji Portugal game. But moving on, Tonga, I think they'll be very disappointed. To be honest, yeah, there was a lot more expectations on Tonga. Not that they could cause an upset, but just be a bit more competitive. They got smashed by Ireland, got smashed by South Africa. The scoreline says Scotland smashed Tonga as well. And Romania even gave them a very, very good game today. Expected a lot more from Tonga with the big names. Couple of guys that went quiet when it came to their team during the World Cup, like Fekitoa. I mean, hardly ever saw him on the field really bringing something to the team. So, yeah, I think Tonga will be very disappointed. But of course, you got glimpses from what they can do, especially at the end of that South African game. So it will be interesting to see the growth from Tonga between now and the next 4 years. Having new guys come in and go through the system, I think this is good for their rugby. But yeah, still a lot of work to do ahead. Romania, I mean, the less I say about them, the better. It's bad because you're playing 4 very good rugby nations. I said they're going to have a minus 300 points difference. I think they ended up having a minus 250. Surely that could be close to some sort of record. It's just bad. I think it's good for them, and it was good exposure for them, seeing what level you should be playing at when it comes to the Rugby World Cup. But I mean, it was brutal from the start. The pool that they got dealt was nasty, very nasty. Moving on to Pool C. For some reason, I do not have the pool here, so now I've got to go from the top of my head. And immediately we got a prediction wrong. And I'm so disappointed. I said Australia's going to top the pool. I actually went on record and said Australia's going to top the pool convincingly. And they got battered. Of course, they're not out just yet, as I said. Something could still happen in the Fiji game. But I mean, nothing's going to happen. Okay? So, Australia out, getting grouped. I mean, it's terrible to think about it. It's almost sad. I feel sorry for the Australian players and the country of Australia, knowing you're such a powerful rugby nation and something to be at this low point is truly sad. Like, I don't like seeing powerful rugby nations going through stuff like this. I don't think it's good for the game. We'll have to wait and see what happens with Eddie as well. Moving on, Wales. I've got so many predictions in this pool wrong. Wales absolutely stunned me. Okay, so I'll have to hold my hands up and say, I apologize. I didn't predict them to even go through. I predicted them to do what Australia did. Smashed Australia. Very good win against Fiji. One of the best rugby games you will ever see. Got the job done against Portugal with their second tier team. Beat Romania as well. Not Romania, Georgia. Georgia, of course, showed some good fight in that game, but it was the second string team that they fielded as well. So, yeah, Wales, very impressive, especially the game against Australia. Literally played them off the park. That was proper big match temperament that Wales showed there. So nothing but respect for Wales and the way that they conducted their business on the field during the pool stages. Moving on to Fiji, and brilliant. You love to see this. That is great for rugby. As bad as Australia was for them, as bad as Australia was for rugby, that good was Fiji for the game of rugby. And I mean, the performance they put up against Wales arguably should have won that game. The performance that they put up against Australia, not giving them a sniff. Had a tight game against, who was it, Georgia, but still got the job done. A comeback. Literally gave Georgia almost no points in the second half. I'm so happy for the country of Fiji. I think their rugby has just gone up levels and levels and levels and levels. And remember, before the World Cup, they beat England as well. And now, most probably, they are playing England in the quarterfinals again. And I'm very excited for that one. So, Wales, Australia, Fiji, spoke about all of them. Georgia and Portugal, of course, those two teams played against each other and got a draw. But both of them can be very, very proud of their performances. They've been a joy to watch. Literally all the games in Pool C. Pool C was probably my favorite pool of the lot, just because every game felt like it was so competitive. Except for maybe Australia and Wales and Australia and Georgia in the first game. The rest of the games, all competitive, feisty, physical games. So all of the teams there can be proud of themselves, except for Australia. Moving on, Pool D. Just let me move this thing. Come on. Now, it's the pool of underwhelmment. This is probably the worst pool of them all. England topping the pool with one convincing win. They beat Chile as well. England were very, very good against Argentina. Put everyone on notice. And then somehow in the next couple of games were probably the most underwhelming team in the whole of the group. I mean, seriously, I don't even know what to say. It's so up and down. Literally, yesterday I heard Steve Borthwick say, listen, we'll take a scrappy win against Samoa. I mean, come on. You're already through. Put up a performance. Get some confidence from the game. Not a scrappy win against Samoa. And I know Samoa is no pushover team. But you can perform a lot better than that. I still, it's just my opinion, but I still don't understand why you're playing Owen Farrell in that 12 jersey. It's either Owen Farrell in the 10 or he doesn't play, in my opinion. Like Ollie Lawrence, way better. Manu Tuilagi, way better. Those are your centers. There you go. Easy. So I'll just move on from England. Just underwhelming. It was kind of boring, to be honest. And I'm not even saying this as banter or trying to be disrespectful. It's just was a tough watch just watching England. Argentina, of course. Oh my goodness. One of the worst performances you'll see in a World Cup that they put up against England. But then managed to put up some of the best performances, or one of the best performances against Japan. What a game that was this morning. Oh, it was an absolute joy to watch. You had to have your popcorn. It was from the start. Just beautiful to watch. Of course, scraped over the line against Samoa. Resounding victory over Chile. But that Samoa game as well. Argentina could have been out of the World Cup by their second game. Samoa truly fought their way back into that game. It was game on until literally the final kick of the game. I think Argentina won by 9 points. So there was a 6 points difference, and that kick was only kicked after the 80 minutes was done. So Argentina, they'll have to pull up their socks. Of course, they are playing Wales. Jeez, that could be literally a remake of the England versus Argentina game, because I feel England and Wales play the same game. Japan, very unlucky. Jeez, they put up a fight. They put up a fight against England. Very good performance. It was a very scrappy win for England. Put up a brilliant performance against Argentina today. Literally fought their heart out. Put up a brilliant performance against Samoa, beating Samoa convincingly. And then, of course, beat Chile as well in the first game. Yeah, I feel for Japan having to fall out in the group stages. They played, in my opinion, they actually played better than England and Argentina. And yet they came third. Very unlucky. one of those things. But you know, Japan always there in the World Cup, always there for the upset. I was looking forward to an upset victory. There hasn't really been an upset in the pool stages. Maybe we get one in the quarterfinals. So it hasn't been a World Cup of upsets necessarily. Samoa, I can say the same about Samoa as I said about Tonga. It just felt like they didn't really pitch up. Didn't get the results. Performances were decent, but could have been a lot better. Deserved to win yesterday against England. 2 disallowed tries as well. Yeah. I don't even have anything else to add. Thank you for watching. Let me know what was your main takeaways for the pool stages. Of course, now the quarterfinals are set. France versus South Africa, Ireland versus New Zealand, Fiji versus England, and Argentina versus Wales. Let me know which game you look forward to the most next weekend for the quarterfinals. Thank you. See you next time.